Mr. Marston, please.
Thank you.
We're going to Mr. Martin.
Mr. Martin's going first for a minute, Chair.
Okay, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I
5 minutes.
appreciate the opportunity. I will just make one brief comment, and I only have one question. First of all, just in the interest of transparency, which seems to be the theme, we should take note that 4 of the 7 presenters here today are so interrelated, sitting on each other's boards of directors, that they constitute really one opinion. It's like one incestuous, union-busting daisy chain of opinion here that it's really, you know, I know the history of the Merit Shop. I've been dealing with them for years. They're created for the express purpose of busting unions in the construction industry. So that's a declaration to get started. But I'm interested particularly in one comment made by Mr. Smith, that the cost that we're looking at here, I mean, we may be witnessing the genesis of a boondoggle in terms of the complexity of the reporting contemplated here. And why would we set up this expensive bureaucracy just to further the private commercial interests of the Merit Shop contractors, who are the true architects and protagonists of this bill? I mean, the sheer amount of time he spent at the PMO lately drafting this thing, Mr. Hebert might be carrying the ball, but it was crafted by a notorious union buster, Terence Oakey. So why would we want to spend all this money to further the commercial self-interest of one notorious union buster in that industry? Mr. Smith, any opinion?
Thank you, Mr. Martin. The proponents of this bill who are at the table today have become so sure of themselves that they have confirmed my testimony to you. Mr. Oakey from the Merit Contractor is quoted in the spring 2012 edition of Merit Open Mind magazine as saying, and I quote, "Mr. Ross Hebert introduced a private members bill, C-377, that would require unions to publicly disclose detailed financial information. This would be of particular benefit to the open shop contractor community,
no doubt,
as the way unions spend dues will become another factor in the certification process by providing valuable information to employees who are considering unions, joining a union." What Mr. Oakley is clearly saying, as far as I'm concerned, is this bill is not about what taxpayers are entitled to. This bill is not about transparency. This bill is all about the intelligence bonanza which the non-union open shop contractors are looking to gain at the cost of the taxpayers of Canada and the competition.
Thank you, sir.
Marston, you have just over 2 minutes.
Well, no.
Order.
It's my turn.
Mr. Marston, you have just over 2 minutes, please.
Mr. Hoback talked about transparency and being straightforward with things. I think that's very important. I think Canadians expect that of us. You know, beyond the fact that this bill is significantly flawed, I mean, we've had witness after witness here talk about who is getting sideswiped by this. And Ms. Stoddard spoke of privacy rights concerns that are here. Another area of this bill is significantly flawed. Mr. Smith, are you aware that Mr. Oakley of Merit Canada, because I want to say that to be very clear here, because he's one of the people testifying, a competitor of yours, a direct competitor of your organization, has had unprecedented access to the PMO, other senior Conservatives, not only once or twice, but 72 times. He's met with Conservative MPs, senior staff dozens of times, between October 22nd and October 24th alone. So after hearing testimony here today, sir, would you say that Merit had the possibility of making significant financial gains if this bill is passed?
Oh, absolutely. It's a dream come true for the Merit Shop. Those visits to the PMO are, I didn't know the numbers, but I sure know the unions won't get that number.
And Mr. Hunter, we've had testimony at this committee implying that C-377 would cost the federal government a lot of money, several $1 million, in fact, to put into place and then to carry forward year after year. You've given some pretty clear study to this. You've brought forward your concerns. Your brief is very direct. Do you have any idea the scale of the cost that this will cost the federal government?
Unfortunately, I do not, but what I will say is I practice in the province of Ontario, and about 4 or 5 years ago, the Ontario government conducted, had a commission on pension plans, And one of the issues that came out of that was the information collected by the provincial pension regulator and the difficulties in getting information from that. It's my understanding that that regulatory body has had to invest substantial sums to deal with the information that they collect on those plans.
Okay. Thank you. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Marsden. We'll go to